Okay, so one of my goals ultimately is that I'm going to be presenting to you basically 9 things that I think are very important. They're very basic things. I'm hoping that you can take away a little nugget or a little something from from the information they're presenting. It's not rocket science, and ultimately there's some basic things that sometimes we need reassurances in terms of doing things. All right. So the first consideration is transparency.
People want to know where their food was grown and car was assembled. They want to know what's in their shampoo and who made their bread. They want to know what kind of barrels their whiskey was aged in. The more honest and open you are with your customers about all aspects of your business, the more they will trust you and the more loyal they will be.
So with that said, we have a marketing folder that we give to a lot of our clients, and within that marketing folder, there's a lot of different pieces of collateral. There's sales flyers, brochures that are really pretty graphically designed, really well done. However, within that folder, one of the most important pieces, documents that I could think is in there is what we refer to as our process document. It's not the sexiest piece of collateral that's in there, but it is really a gateway into allowing our clients to be able to see the inside process in terms of what we're doing. So I think that's actually important to be able to give your clients kind of like that backdoor view into how your operations work, who you are, and what you're doing. Additionally, if you were, for example, visit our website, you would be able to find, a corporate structure document under one of the tabs on our site. Again, not everyone's going to want to know that information about your organization. They're not going to necessarily want to dig that deep. But for the person who wants that information, they're certainly capable of finding it, looking at it, and going from there. So in summation, why transparency matters is that honesty and transparency always lead to curiosity and trust. Trust leads to engagements. Engagements lead to sales and increased profits. If the product or service lives up to the transparency message, then loyalty and repeat business will ensue.
Humanity. Companies are not run by robots, but it's amazing how many sound like they are. Your customers know that there are people behind your products, services, ideas, emails, websites, and social media accounts. Speak to them as if you were face to face in the same room. Be conversational, friendly, and easy to understand.
So going back to the last slide about being transparent and honest with your clients, I'm going to first off all tell you that about 50% of the images that are there are people from our team, and the other 50% of the images that are there are stock photography. So the remainder of the people that are there are really there to represent our partners, our vendors, and support team that we're collaborating with. It's really important to kind of put that human touch, that human face to your organization, and get your relationship, whether it's a product or service, down to that human level. Other examples, for example, may be, again, if you were to visit our site, you would be able to find a team page. If you have a business and you have a website, you should have something like that in terms of having that information about your team, your staff, on your site and accessible to your clients. Additionally, other considerations that may put a human element on things may be the navigation of your website. I see this all the time. They're very generic: about, services, products, contact us, as opposed to having the opportunity to create that engagement by just tweaking the verbiage a little bit, who we are, what we do, why us, or contact us in that sense, so that it becomes a little bit more personal. Additionally, when we talk about, let's say, banner images or product images, a lot of times people will showcase their product without the human element. A good example of that may be we had a client that refinished basements and built houses and so forth and so on, and remodeled kitchens. And all of the imagery on their website was imagery of exactly that, those products that they were building. What we did was we came in and took the mom and put her in the kitchen and then shot the kitchen. We took the couple, put them in the basement in front of the fireplace, and then shot the finished basement. We took the family, put them in front of the house, and then shot the picture. And that really adds, again, that human element to it that I think is a lot more personal.
Customer service. Because each interaction with our customers is
So, in my opinion, marketing in its purest form is communication. So that's ultimately what you want to have with your clients. You want to have a line of communication. At Marstudio, we have something that we refer to as our extranet. It's essentially an email on steroids. It allows for the client to always have 24/7 access to our team. It's a great mechanism by which we can correspond and share information and centralize all of that information in one place. Of course, different companies are going to have different structures, and there's always going to be a platform such as Basecamp, or if you're a medical practice, you can have a patient portal, or there's always going to be some other type of client engagement platform. And I think it's important to allow your clients to have that opportunity to engage you and communicate with you essentially at will. In summation, if you take care of each and every one of your clients with the same high standards, regardless of the revenue they are generating for your business, you always ensure repeat business and perpetual engagements. Your customers need to think that they are your only priority, and if they sense that from you, they're going to be your referral champions. It's like the old adage, the customer is always right. Of course, we all know that that's not true, but the client doesn't need to know that you know that, right?
From your brand's logo to your website to your messaging, everything about your brand must be straightforward, to the point, easy to understand, and easy to remember. Boil everything down to its essence, and only use and say what is absolutely necessary.
So if you don't have an elevator pitch, that's something that you absolutely need. Our elevator pitch is we are your off-site marketing department. I didn't say offshore, I said off-site. It kind of creates an idea in your head of who we are and what we do. Additionally, we picked the brand that you see there for a very specific reason. The Apple logo, it's white on white, very simple. And when you look at that brand, you realize the simplicity of the brand being just a very simple apple with a corner cut out and placed essentially on top. An apple in its own essence is probably about as simple a food or product that you get. It represents a simple need, kind of like the fact that you need an apple a day in terms of something for you to consume. Additionally, it conveys the idea of affordability, even though we all know that Apple products aren't necessarily affordable. And it has other more memorable components that we have in our mind's eye, like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. When you look at the Marstudio brand, and I don't know if everybody can see it at the bottom of our page, we've built that kind of elevator pitch into the brand. The paint splash represents graphic design. The eye represents creative vision. The center of the pupil represents strategic direction. The white in the eye is kind of an @ symbol and represents technology. And the lashes represent the collaboration between us and the clients that we work with. And once you explain that to someone, or you build that simplicity in terms of the message into your brand or your banners or whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to resonate with someone and become a lot more memorable. Simplicity is the gateway to higher revenue. Simplifying your message, sales engagement processes, website, or anything else that involves your prospects or customers will always lead to better understanding and faster growth. If you invest in making the lives of your prospects and clients simpler, they will value your products and services more. There is a reason that Apple is the largest company in the world. They've built an empire of simplicity and have championed ease of use across all of their products and lines.
Personalization. While retargeting is a wonderful way to reach people out there, brands are starting to also use pre-targeting. Pre-targeting uses predictive analytics to track people's online behavior, allowing you to reach potential customers with the right information at the right time. Yes, it does sound a little bit brother, but it works.
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with what retargeting is. Retargeting is essentially when you've visited a website, you're trying to buy a handbag. Next thing you know, you're off the site and you're somewhere else, and you see that same handbag pop up in a banner, right? So there's essentially, when you're on there's code embedded in the site that basically allows you the opportunity to do the retargeting. Pre-targeting is when you take previously identify your audience using demographic information, geographic information, and you curtail a message, and then you try to reach out to them, let's say on Facebook or LinkedIn. A good example of that, as far as something that we worked on, we worked with an emergency database recovery company, and we determined that their target audience were chief technology officers. So what we did was we curtailed the message and created a deliverable for that particular audience, put it front and center on the website in one of the very first silos. That way, when they showed up on the site, they were able to immediately identify and relate to that and move forward in terms of the engagement. Customize everything. No two businesses, products, services, or even people on the face of the planet are the same, not even twins. So why do you think that one solution would work for everyone? Customizing your products and solutions to your target demographic will make them feel exclusive, and exclusivity is a pathway to wealth. How can you customize? Research and some more research in order to understand your demographic inside and out, and to do so, you need data and lots of it. The sixth consideration is technology.
Don't chase technology trends in a quest to have the latest hot feature. Use technology to make it easy for your customers or prospects to engage better with your company's products and services. Technology should act as an effective facilitator and not an hindrance. So be very selective when you're considering implementing a particular new feature or functionality, and always keep your target demographic.
So, and I apologize ahead of time if anybody happens to have a QR code on their business card, because I'm gonna mention that as an example of poor use of technology. A business card is only 2 inches by like 3 inches. It's prime real estate, and you're basically trying to put as much information on there as you possibly can in terms of creating an engagement with the person you're giving it to. Now, having a QR code on a business card for the mere purpose of me pulling out my phone, opening up an app, scanning it, only to go to your website, is a poor use of the technology. It should be just as easy for me to say, Siri, open my web browser, or just go straight to the web browser and type a URL. If a URL is that complicated or sophisticated that it requires a QR code, then you should probably reconsider, changing your URL. Additional examples of poor use of technology and that is unnecessary is we'll have a lot of times where clients will come to us for what they refer to as an enterprise level content management system, and I have to sit down with them and explain to them that, look, unless you're CNN or ESPN, you don't need that kind of robust content management system. A lot of out-of-the-box applications that we could use, such as WordPress, have a lot of R&D money placed into it, and they're perfectly feasible in order to be able to do the things that you need. E-commerce solution are another version. Clients looking for a robust e-commerce solution, and unless you're eBay or Amazon, you probably don't need anything like that. And a lot of the out-of-the-box applications that you can choose, or some of those third-party solutions like Xcart, are going to be just as sufficient. Don't chase technology trends. Technology should always facilitate and not become an obstacle. Trying to impress your demographic with incorporating the latest technology may lead to backlash if your clients or prospects are not yet ready for it. Also, new technology needs to prove its worth before it finds its way into your business.
Participation. Your loyal customers must participate in the experience that is your brand. Encourage user-generated content via photo or story contests. Ask them questions on social media. Create an insider program to get input on new product or service ideas. Hold regular Periscope broadcasts. Not only will they feel more engaged with your brand, they'll talk about it too.
And again, referring to the last slide and the use of Periscope, again, if it's applicable to your business and the technology helps your business, then you'd use it. If it's not, then you wouldn't use it. At Marstudio, we use, for example, in terms of social media engagements, we use Facebook, LinkedIn, Behance, Instagram, Vimeo, YouTube, Pinterest, we have Google Plus, as well as having our own blog and our own news post feed. And those are great conduits, being a marketing company, to reach our clients and put our message out there. Sometimes there can also be residual benefits to those type of activities with the social media engagements. Obviously, we're helping our organic ranking by putting all of that content and information out there. Get your clients involved in this day and age of social media, where everyone has a voice. You want your voice and your clients to be behind your products and services. Encourage them to provide you feedback. That is a goldmine of data that can help you sharpen your marketing and sales tools. Engaging your clients will make them feel as if they are part of your success, and they will take pride in that.
Collaboration. You don't have to do it on your own. Finding trustworthy consultants, partners, and vendors that can help your company realize its business goals is critical to your success. So, nurture existing relationships and keep building new ones. At the end of the day, your success hinges on how successfully you work with others to expand your products and business.
So when it comes to collaboration, obviously you guys are kind of partaking in that activity by coming to the summit, listening to the speakers and hearing them out. And I'm a strong believer that there are only so many Warren Buffetts, Richard Bransons, and Elon Musks in the world. So if you have an opportunity to catch their ear, get their insight, get their input, you should certainly take advantage of that. Even as an organization ourselves, we have team members. For example, our content director, she's there for the purpose of creating general content. There comes times where we need to get IT specific content or law firm specific content, or let's say a neurosurgeon wants content, and we're going to find other content writers to collaborate with. So it's always good to have that opportunity to reach different people. Additionally, as an organization, we're collaborating with, let's say, sign manufacturers. We're creating the design, and then they're the ones that are actually, manufacturing the products. We're creating the print collateral, but then our printers are printing it, and hosting providers, and so forth and so on. Augment your enterprise. Fostering good vendor relationships always leads to better products and services. Your trusted vendors always make you appear more capable and larger. Having vast capabilities and product lines will help you and your company diversify its sales channels and promote faster and more sustainable growth. And the last consideration, but certainly not the least, is love.
Love what you do. We're all passionate about what we do. It's okay to show and tell everyone else about it as well. If you love what you do, it will show in your work, because you will take pride in your products and services. That love will translate into better results for your clients, which ultimately leads to the growth of your business.
I don't think it really needs any explanation. If you love what you do, it'll show. The only thing that I want to add to that is, I have a saying with my team, and that is, if you're going to do something, do it right, or don't do it at all. Ultimately, go big or go home. And again, by making sure that you do everything to the highest degree, it's going to be transparent that you're good at what you do, and people are going to appreciate that and respect that. Love what you do. Make sure to surround yourself with people that share the same passion for what you have created. Loving what you do will allow you to look past the dollar signs and focus on your return on investment. If your passion for your company, employee services, and products reaches your clients and prospects, you are more likely to have them value you and sign the dotted line. They know that you will channel the same passion towards their product and services. And that's the presentation, and then certainly after I get off, I'm more than happy to take any questions if anybody has any. We're also at the Tech Expo, so if anybody would like to come to the Tech Expo and have further dialogue, I'd be more than happy to entertain any questions. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.